Hello and welcome to podcast episode 47 of the Empowered by Design podcast. I am your host, Dr. Liz, and I am so excited to be here with you today and a very special episode, which I have been talking about on previous episodes, and it is here for you today. Today, I am introducing you to our newest Visionistas Team member, Vicky Alercia. We are going to be talking all about the fun parts of working together, how we met, and some of the fun things that we are working on now and in the future. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome to the podcast, Empowered by Design. I'm your host, Dr. Liz, a licensed psychologist and owner of Visionistas by Design Wellness Boutique in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. This podcast is about the power of connection and a proactive approach to mental health and overall wellness. It's about finding and owning your power right now and using it for good by nurturing the connection of body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Empowered by Design podcast delivers psychological concepts and practical strategies with a real-life approach, designed to empower health and wellness, optimal performance, authentic connection with yourself and others, and purposeful, joyful living. Be well. Live empowered. Dream, design, deliver. Vicky Alercia is a licensed professional counselor with more than 15 years experience in the mental health field. Vicky provides individual and group therapy to individuals ages 12 and older and specializes in empowering individuals to increase self-esteem, to manage stressors related to anxiety and depression with a healthy approach, and to strengthen relationships. Vicky views her career as part of her passion and purpose in life. Outside of her counseling business, she explores many avenues to connect with the community. She assists in facilitating a monthly Lehigh Valley Women's Empowerment Group. She has been co-hosting the Community Connection podcast on YouTube to promote mental health awareness and support. Vicky has also been sharing her first book, I Am Loving the Me That I Am Choosing to Be, with local schools to educate children and adults on how to develop a positive mindset. Vicky loves to be around positive energy and appreciates individuals who allow themselves to be vulnerable in order to heal, learn, and transform into the healthiest version of themselves. Her motto is to begin each day with a positive thought and a grateful heart. Vicky has a passion for helping women through their healing and transformation journey. Vicky will soon be offering the program, A New You, designed to assist women in rebuilding their self-esteem and learning how to become healthier after leaving a toxic relationship. Welcome, Vicky. I love reading that bio. It's amazing. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you on the podcast.
I'm super excited to be here.
There's just so I mean, obviously I read that bio before.
Right.
Like it's so fun to read it again and again because it's so neat to just I'm so excited to talk to you today, and it's just lovely to be in connection with you, and love that how much we overlap and share on passion and purpose, and that's how we found each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about how we connected and all the fun things that are happening now and things that are coming in the future. But I just wanted to kind of open it up and invite you to just tell us a little bit about you and yeah, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think the bio was the short version of it. I could probably talk all day, but I think I'm definitely at a part in my life where I'm just learning and growing and healing and transforming. And through my divorce, there's loss and grief associated with that, and that's a tough thing to heal from. But I think a huge message that I'm learning from that is, as people leave your life, it opens up the opportunity for other individuals to come in. And I'm very aware that those new individuals entering my life are the people that truly align with me and are the individuals that are going to help me heal and learn and grow and be the woman that I truly want to be. So, which of course you are one of the individuals that I align with. So I don't think it's a coincidence that
Me neither.
that our path, and that's what makes it so beautiful. I think it's easy to get so stuck in the pain and the negativity and all the things that are going wrong. But if we stay there too long, we're going to overlook all the amazing things that are entering our life. And so I'm at a place where, as I'm healing, I'm just choosing to focus on all the things that, all the blessings that are coming into my life right now.
I love that. I love it because it's so important to highlight break down what you're saying is that it's not about just being positive, right? Like it's not just
Right.
about being positive. It is about attending to the grief and the loss and the pain, regardless of where it comes from, right? What the
Right.
source of pain is. We've all, in a human way, we've all experienced pain, physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, psychological pain. We've all experienced it. So we have that common human connection, and to feel it and to really process it is then the way to, like you're saying, be able to see with authenticity and just real value the positives and the blessings and the new opportunities and connections. I love that. Yeah. And I'm just like, those words are really resonate with me. Just I think we identifying as healers, not just to help others heal, but to help ourselves heal, because
Absolutely.
again, we all have pain and we all have life experiences that will bring it, and we haven't, we're going to have them more in our lives. That's the
Right.
part of life, is that's going to happen, and that we can't control those things, but we can set ourselves up for the success of managing and getting through those kinds of experiences with ourselves and with support from others.
Absolutely. I mean, I think now more than ever, our community needs to be kinder to each other. And I feel that the one message that I've been consistently trying to put out to our community is that there's strength in our vulnerability. We are often so afraid of just being judged and criticized and misunderstood that we don't even allow ourselves to speak. But we all deserve, and I think want, to be seen and heard and valued. And I think that that's what I try to show, personally and professionally. Like, I'm going to put my voice out there with the awareness that not everyone is ready to hear the messages that I'm speaking. And that's okay. Like, that's not a personal thing. We're all at different parts in our journey. I mean, and hopefully we can agree to disagree on different things, and just, figure out ways to move forward in the best way that we can, whatever that looks like. It's different for everyone. But if we can continue to show respect and compassion and patience with each other as we're trying to figure out how to do that, how to navigate life, it's just, what do we want to see in our world, and are we individually putting that out there?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Because you are, yeah, you're one of the things I love most. I mean, I love so many things about you. One of the things that stands out to me is your courage and your strength in being who you are. And oh, I just got tearful. I'm looking at your
I know,
face.
I know. I was like, don't cry.
I
Don't, it's okay to
know,
cry.
but
Can we cry?
we cry.
Can I just say
Yes.
our first team meeting, when you said, "Oh, we cry here," and I was just like, "This is absolutely the place that I need to be, where we acknowledge that emotions are being human and we
Yes.
can feel around each
Yes.
other." I just had
Yes.
to say that, but yes.
No, I was thinking of that too as I was like, just pondering, like imagining what might come up in our conversation. And I remember our very first meeting that you were here as part of the
Mm,
team.
mm,
We're in and I was trying to remember what the content was that I was crying about, but like we were all I think we were all feeling it. It was Aaliyah was virtual, but Hannah and Samantha
yeah.
were here. And it
Mm,
was your first meeting, and I felt so bad because I'm like, there's just a heaviness that we had
yeah.
to address in the
Right.
room, in our energy. And
Mm.
like I was tearful, and I just turned to you and I'm like, we cry here. And you were very like gracious. You're like, great. I
Yeah, I
love
know. It
it.
was so real and beautiful. And that's the one thing I keep on saying to people now. Like, I just want real. Like,
Yeah.
I just need to be around real. And real means
Yeah,
being human. And human means having feelings and emotions,
absolutely.
and it doesn't have to be scary to like show who you really are. Like, there are people who will appreciate you and love you just the way that you are. So it was just
Yeah.
lovely to see the real you in the first meeting.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I think that is, just one of my goals in life is to be real. And I know that as you say that, that's one of the things that we try to help people with, whether it's in our therapy or in counseling or other programs that we offer, is we recognize that it is scary. It can be extreme. I personally have come through very recently a huge block of fear to be myself and authentic and kind of own my identity in certain ways and to put it out there and recognize the fear, right? Like how powerful the fear can be. What if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? And then when we do it, it's a journey, right? It's a journey of kind of going through the self-healing process and self-discovery and tuning in, but also surrounding ourselves with the people who love us, who will accept us and be kind to us, gracious to us with our realness, right? So recognizing there are some people in my life that, that I don't feel as comfortable being real around, and that's just the way it is, right? And so I'm not. And that's sad.
Yeah.
Because you can't always choose all of your relationships. You just can't, especially when you're, in different circumstances, wherever it is. And I just invite you all to tune into that and recognize you can't always choose your relationships, but you can choose to build up those relationships that are the lovely ones, the supportive ones, the people that you really connect with because they love you and they care about you and they're kind to you and they respect you, right? So definitely that is one thing that we both of us work with ourselves on, right?
Sure.
Sometimes relationships have to end or have to change, and sometimes you have to. It's tough. It's a tough process, and that goes back to that courage and the strength that I started talking about, and then you and I got on our. And that's another thing I love about us here is we go off and one of us will have an idea and we run with it and we're like, okay, we have to bring ourselves back or we'll be talking
But
about this.
somehow we follow each other
We
in
do,
all that might
and
not
we
make
bring each
sense to
other
someone
back.
else, but yeah.
And we ground each other.
Absolutely.
but for sure, I know that you were put into my life for a reason. And I draw from your strength and your courage. And I'll just kind of give an example of personality wise. Like one of the things that was fun in our very first like month together is we went to um, the Abode home decor store for Krista was so lovely and gracious in inviting us to join her on one of the Wednesday night sip and shop in Nazareth. So we're in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and they do a lot of fun community things. And she invited us to come and just be there and meet people who came into her store and connect, which was lovely. And we were hosting our upcoming vision board party we were hosting, and Style by Design. And for me, sometimes I can feel a little bit shy and I guess hesitant to just kind of say, hey, come to our vision board. Like it was just like, once I get going, I had to like ease into it. But you were in your element. You're like, I'll come.
Yeah.
And you were just like chatting and talking and connecting. And it was so wonderful. And I'm like, ooh, I like stood closer to you and got some of your energy so I could, open up myself a little bit. But so I love that part of you. And I love that we can share in those kinds of things.
It was fun for sure. I spent a little too much money there, but a great store, great store.
It is. So
I think a word that's coming to mind. So part of my healing journey has been spiritual, and part of my spiritual journey has been using the word surrender. So I recognize that I may have had some issues with control in the past. And I think that a lot of us want to believe that we have control over our life. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I could just speak about myself. So I'm an anxious individual. And so I need to feel that I have, for the most part, control over all the areas of my life. And you don't feel like you have much control when relationships are ending, or when things are happening around you, or there's so many things out of our control. And so I've been learning to just say, I trust myself enough that I can surrender and allow things to play out however they're supposed to play out, with work, with my kids' school, with relationships, with the world, and just trust that I have the ability to handle whatever changes come my way. And that has been so freeing of like my time and energy to just allow things to flow instead of me trying to control every little aspect of my life. Huge life lesson.
Love it.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I love that word surrender. You said a lot of really great things in there, that surrender and trust, right? And this trusting in yourself, but also when you're saying that spirituality, that you're also trusting in something beyond yourself, right? Like we recognize that we have skills, we have strength within us, we have the resources, we have connections that we need. And then we also recognize that there's something bigger than us. And when I say we, I mean you and I share in that, right? Like we share in that. And I think saying we also to people who are listening too is that I would guess that most people on some level who are listening also have that sense, like whether you have it articulated or maybe you're even struggling with that, because that was a piece of my journey of struggling with how I was raised versus how what things that I experienced in my life, and now where I am and how I help people. And really, obviously, again, it's a journey and still navigating it, but really, really, really tuning back into myself and my connection with God and the universe and beyond, and that spiritual part of me that I probably was I know was hurting, was hurting, was
Mm-hmm.
hurting. And
Sure, sure.
and she needed to heal and grow. And she's doing
Yes.
that. She's been doing that a lot this year. But so I love, love, love that part of what you just said. It's wonderful. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a process.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, it's funny because since obviously I'm a therapist, I often use the phrase, like trust the process,
Mm.
and but when my friends say it to me, I'm just like, oh, are you really telling me to trust the process again? Really?
You throwing that in
I don't think I want
my
to do this anymore, but thank you.
face?
Thank
Right, right.
you. Yeah.
And one of my clients once shared with me a twist on embrace the process. I
Ooh.
know.
I think
So
I might like that more.
right? Like
Yeah.
embrace. And we love hugs. So that's just a wonderful word. Just like picturing myself even now, like embrace with my arms out in a hug
Yeah.
position, just
Mm-hmm.
embracing all of it, the ups and the
Mm-hmm.
downs, because that is what we have. And obviously when we're in the downs, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not an embracer, right? Like I'm like, get me
Yeah.
out of this, I hate
Yeah.
this.
Right. Right.
But when we meet it where it's at, rather than try
Mm-hmm.
to push it away and push it away and
Mm-hmm.
shove it somewhere and force
Mm-hmm.
something,
Mm-hmm.
um it's much more, it flows. And that was another word you said, which is one of my words, is
Mm-hmm.
how much I love to let things flow. And in order to do that, we must, it's not all just going to always flow, right? There is the up and down of things, and there's
Mm-hmm.
work to be done and things to attend to in order to get to the place where we can say,
Mm-hmm.
whew, okay, I'm going to let this flow,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
recognizing the balance, I think
Sure.
is key. Absolutely.
Sure. I really think it all goes back to our mindset. No matter what it
Mm,
is that we're going through, it's what we're choosing to focus on. And granted, I think we all get stuck in those moments where we're just replaying things, or something off happens for the day and we kind of get stuck there. And again, like we're allowed to be human and to feel and be frustrated or sad or
mhm,
whatever emotion comes up,
mhm.
but to make a conscious effort to not stay stuck there.
Yeah.
And I've just been noticing that about myself lately, that there could be umpteen things throughout my day where I could really be stuck and just have a terrible day, but I can look at each of those things and just say, okay, like that's not the best thing to happen right now, but it's okay. Like ultimately it's okay. I can figure it out and I can move on, and there are good things that are happening today that I can choose to focus on instead.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah, and that it brings up, so you, Vicky, and those of you who are listening, if you're here for the first time, welcome. This is a wonderful introduction to this podcast, and if you're back for your second or more episode, thank you for coming back and being a part of this and connecting. But you know that one of the things that I talk a lot about here, especially when I'm talking about the journey and the balance and the healing and the growth, is the connection between and among our body, our mind, our heart, our soul, and our spirit. And, we've talked about all of that stuff today, directly and indirectly. And I'm wondering, Vicky, when you think of yourself personally and, personally and even professionally, when you feel the most stuck, when you think, oh, I'm stuck, where do you go to first to pull yourself out of that stuck place? Would you say body, mind, heart, soul, or spirit?
um Breathing.
Okay.
What category does that, body,
Ooh,
because I'm breathing.
it's probably all of them, right? But okay,
Yeah.
so when you're
Yeah.
breathing, you are tuning into,
I'm centering myself in the present moment.
okay. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah,
Hmm.
because it really does. Oh, good answer.
Thank you.
Because it checks all the
Yeah.
boxes, right? Because
Yeah.
it absolutely, it's our body.
Because
And
it really does slow everything down. When you focus
absolutely.
on your breath, it's slowing down your mind, your body, it's relaxing like your soul and your spirit. So yeah, it
Absolutely.
does kind of
Yes.
connect all of
Oh,
it.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Yeah, it's funny because last night I tuck my kids in every night, and I'm like I treasure those moments even though they're getting older and I know they're not going
Yeah.
to be there forever.
Yeah.
Yesterday my son reminded me, Mom, we're teenagers, when he was talking about himself and a friend, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh, you are, but
Hmm.
you're still
Hmm.
my baby.
Yeah.
So I tucked them in, and about 20 minutes later, I was watching, he started watching with me Get Back, the Beatles documentary.
Oh,
Oh my
okay.
God, it's amazing. I cannot wait to like find people to talk to about it because I loved it so
What
much.
channel is that on?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
It's
Okay.
so, oh my God. Talk
I'll
about,
start watching that.
I might have a tangent. Oh, good. You watch it and then we'll talk about it. We'll do a
Yeah,
podcast.
okay.
We'll do
Sounds
a
good.
podcast episode because
Yeah.
I have so much, so much. But anyway, tangent coming back. So he watched the first part, and I had like a half hour left, and it was bedtime. And so we went up and did bedtime, and then I came back down to finish it. And he calls, I hear him whisper, Mom. And I'm like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. He's like, can you come here? So I went up, and and I thought sometimes he'll have something's on his mind, and
Mhm.
he brings it up at bedtime,
Mhm. Mhm.
like we all do, right? Like our
Mhm.
days
Sure.
coming to a
Sure.
close and our
Mhm.
minds, like now it's like time for we want our minds to go to sleep too, but now it's
Right.
time for them to play. But I said, do you have something to talk about, or did you want to just cuddle a little more?
Mhm. Yeah.
And he's like, I just wanted to cuddle a little more. And his breath, so
Mhm.
where this is coming from, what brought this up for me is his breath was really like fast and shallow. And I have, ever since they were little and babies, like I've tried to like take deep breaths to match so that they could match their breath with my breath, like especially when they were babies and we're holding them on our
Mhm.
chest and our belly or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but so I was trying it and last night, and then I intentionally said, like, try to slow your breath down, because he didn't want me to go, and I was like, slow your breath down, and I
Mhm.
love that. So it does, it really, it's the body, it's the heart, the soul, the spirit, and the mind. So
Mhm.
I love it. Yeah.
One of the things, I guess, meditative uh, actions, coping skills, self-care. I don't know what word I want to use. I had bought this saucer swing for my kids that I put
Mm.
in the backyard. And it has become like my thing. Like I use it probably twice as much as my kids do. And I will go out there and I will just swing and
Oh, I
I
love
will
that.
look at the clouds and I will feel
Mm.
the breeze and I will see the leaves changing colors and I just breathe and swing. And surprisingly, my mind just kind of goes blank, which seems really difficult to do some days, but I can just whatever it is about that swinging, maybe it brings me
Mm.
back to my childhood. I feel like a
Mm.
kid, like
Yeah.
that's something like I don't hear many adults talk about swinging, but it's just like
Right.
something I love doing as a child. And I think when we become adults, we forget to have that fun,
Oh, I
free,
love that.
childlike, right? Like
I'm getting the
life doesn't have
chills.
to be serious all the time. So that is like my fun childlike moment where I just swing and
Yeah.
I just take it all in and I don't look at the time and I don't look at my to-do list. I'm just in that moment,
Mm.
enjoying everything about it.
Nature,
Yeah.
connected to nature. And also, yeah, think about when we rock our babies, right?
Right.
It's that rock
Oh, like
movement.
I'm like soothing myself when
You're
I
soothing
swing. Yeah.
yourself. We should
Yeah.
all get saucer swings. I love it. But no, it made me think of, my mom has a porch swing on my parents,
Mhm.
and it's just one of those things that, you can't go, on a porch swing. It doesn't go high. I love swinging at swing sets and I love to go really high, but I
Yeah.
also
Mhm.
can see that like just that soothing, like rocking chair
Yeah.
or a swing type of activity.
Mhm.
Yeah, we do it to our babies and then we think about it I want to get one. I want to get a rocking chair.
Yeah, because we soothe ourselves. Like just
Mhm.
because we're an adult
What a
doesn't mean
great
that,
tip.
yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so even just for those of you listening, like rocking, either back, your body in a rocking chair, or you don't even need a chair, or a
Yeah,
swing, but you can,
yeah.
and it soothes, right? The breathing along with
Hmm.
just that simple sway. And I
Hmm.
think of like when we're singing or listening to music, how that, that we can notice that subtle shift in our
Hmm.
bodies, just kind of swaying with it, and how wonderful that is.
Hmm.
Ugh.
So part of that is I've gotten in the habit of asking myself, what do I need right now?
Mm,
So as a therapist, as an empath, as I don't know if you know anything about Enneagrams,
I
but I am a
do.
number 2, which means I'm a helper. Surprise, surprise. So a lot of my time and energy goes into giving, like helping other people, healing other people, giving to other people. So making it a point of asking myself, what do I need right now? And there's something so beautiful about meeting my own needs, because
Hmm.
I think society sometimes makes us feel that we have to be dependent on another person to meet our needs. And I'm learning that I can meet my own needs. What
Yeah.
do I need right now? I'm tired. Okay, take a nap. I'm
Yeah.
stuck in my head. Go swing. I'm,
Hmm.
whatever. I feel disconnected. Reach out to a friend, so that one little question, and sometimes the answer is, I don't know what I need. So
Hmm.
in those moments, that's a moment where I might just focus on my breath and just lay down and relax and try to be silent, and like maybe I just need to rest. Maybe I just
Yes.
need to rest, and then I'll figure out what I truly need.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and I find, yeah, when we do that, take that moment, take that pause, we then tune into other aspects, right? Our intuition may send us a message, or
mhm,
nature, or a thought might pop in, like, oh yeah, that's right. And also just really what these things that you're saying are this message of there's not one right way.
mhm,
Right? There's not one right way. There's so many different ways to help yourself, to heal yourself, to
mhm,
grow, to learn. And, I was talking last episode about our Small Business Saturday, where
mhm,
we connected, with a lovely collection of healers and artists, and just beautiful, beautiful souls.
mhm,
And love to, excited about that in the future, those connections, and bringing people together in that spirit of there's not just one way, and there's not even just one way, like in a moment of time, right?
mhm.
Like today I might need this, and in an hour I might need something different,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
loving to build our collection of
Mhm,
tools and strategies and resources and people that we
mhm,
can turn to help, right? Because part of the healing process is helping ourselves. And then for me, also, like when you said, I don't know what I need right now, sometimes my people know what I need before I
yeah,
do, right? Like,
right,
so
right.
I've said before how some of my family members, and again, I bring up my son, will be like, I think you need a hug, mom, and it's just
Love
very,
it.
yep,
Yeah,
you're right, I
yeah.
do.
That's great.
Yeah. So we didn't talk yet about how we connected in
Yes.
because that is a fun story. And my first ever memory of you was we were both attending an event
Mhm,
by the Wisdom Coalition, put
mhm.
together, I would say probably 3, if not 4 years
Possibly,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
It might have been 4 years ago, but and I feel like it might have been called something about connection, right? Like it was a retreat
Mhm,
at a beautiful location, a farm, and
mhm,
so we were there, and
mhm,
I remember I don't think I stood up and said anything, but you talked about your work, and I
mhm,
remember you from then.
mhm.
And do you And
Do
then
do I remember you from then? No.
you don't, yeah, because I didn't. That's okay. I mean, that's okay. But I remember you, and that's funny
Yeah.
because when we were here talking
Yeah.
about Small Business Saturday, I brought
Mhm.
in that little mindfulness jar, which is
Mhm.
something we'll be doing in the future. But it had the sticker on it, and then that's when I
Right.
brought it up to you, like, oh, I was there, and
Right.
I remember you from
Right.
that. So I remembered you from that, and then
I
we.
think there's something so exciting in that though, that like realizing that our paths had already crossed
Mm,
before I even realized our paths were
yes.
crossing. Like it actually
Mhm.
makes me wonder how many times have we been in the same room
Oh
together?
my
You know
gosh,
what
I
I
just
mean?
got the
Like
chills
doing the
again.
same things before we actually truly connected with each other. So
What a
yeah.
wonderful thing to think.
Thought, feeling,
I
yeah.
love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Even in my body, I could feel that when you, I
Yeah.
love to just, yeah, those, yes, yes, which is also what's helpful for, in general, for people, right? Like when you're searching for something and,
Mhm.
because for me, of course, I want to build this Visionistas and my team.
Mhm.
And I know that the way that it's happening is exactly how it's supposed to be happening. So,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
like making sure that the people who are here are in line with our
Mhm.
shared mission and passion. But I love that thought. Yeah. So you never know
Right.
who you're crossing paths with, wherever
Mhm.
you go. But so then the next time I think that we both know about
Yeah. Mhm.
is through our mutual. So this is so fun because each person who's on the Visionistas team has been introduced to me by someone else
Mhm.
who was like, oh, I know Liz, and
Mhm.
you should connect with her. And they would say
Mhm.
the same to me, like, Samantha, or I know Samantha, she's great. And so we were connected by Jen Hernandez. So we
Mhm.
both know Jen. We both have done different things with Jen in collaborating and professionally, personally. And you were a participant in the very, very first
Yes.
Healthy by Design
Mhm.
program.
Mhm.
That is so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
And then we connected through being clinicians in the same area,
Yeah.
through our supportive like circuit, and
Mhm.
we came together. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And when I was looking for work, because I think I had shared with you, I love my private practice, but it can be
Mhm.
lonely. And I know that I'm an individual who thrives when I connect with other people. So when I was considering going back to a group practice, I was just kind of like looking at my contacts, and I was like, I'm going to reach out to Dr. Liz and just see. And then when you emailed me back and you're like, well, actually, I am looking to hire a clinician. And I was like, oh my goodness,
Yes.
but what if I didn't reach out to you,
Right. Yeah.
So
Take the
yeah.
chance. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not is
Right.
my question. Why not try?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And I'm thinking of when then we met in person. I loved, loved, loved that you have purple in your hair.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
We love purple here.
I thought that was a sign, like, and I
Oh
don't know if
yeah.
that's like the silly coincidence, serendipitous
Right.
moments, but like walking in there and the
Oh
purple,
my
and then you're like,
gosh.
purple, and then purple in my hair, and like,
Mhm.
coincidence? I think
That's
not, but
that's right.
yeah.
That's right. It was meant to be. Um, so that's how we met. And then now I mean, we've talked about things we're working on now. And I would love for you to talk a little bit about the program, A New You, where that comes from for you, your goal and your vision for that, for the future.
Sure. So, A New You, I guess, is a program that came to me as I was trying to heal from my divorce and just being aware of um, clients that I've helped and just other people that I know in my life, personally and professionally, that as I was speaking up about my struggles with the whole process, and just, toxic relationships, and then the individuals that were coming forth and talking about their situations as well, just realizing, one, that we're not alone in what we're trying to heal from, and just making it known that it is possible to heal from this, from leaving a relationship that was unhealthy. And I just want to be able to provide that guidance for other women to work through that healing process and that transformation journey.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I would say, well, that self-healing piece is another thing that we share, right? So, and most of I would say most of the people who keep coming back and listening to the podcast, similarly have survived something traumatic, tragic, loss, something, are somewhat identifying themselves, whether consciously or not, as self-healers, because there's a piece of even just listening to a podcast like this that is part of like, oh, I'm trying to do something for myself. I'm trying to make some kind of change in my life.
Yeah.
And then also perhaps I would say helping others do the same, right? So
Right.
those are things that connect you and me, for sure, that we share. And I think a lot of our listeners as well can identify with that aspect of recognizing the pain, identifying that there's pain, and trying to do something to move through it. And again, not meaning you have to do it all by yourself, right? There is there's an aspect of helping yourself, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself.
Right.
And part of that is recognizing when you need to ask for help and support and connection, right? Whether it's from a friend, a family member, a professional counselor, a therapist, doctor, whatever it is, but recognizing that we have limits as much as we might not.
Right.
We have limits to
Absolutely.
control. We have limits to
Absolutely.
other things. Because again, then when you are nurturing yourself, you are also then much better place to care for the people that you love and that you're helping,
Absolutely.
whether you are
Absolutely.
professionally a helper or not, like we are. But we all, on some level, love to help other people.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure. For the longest time, I like to identify myself with Wonder Woman.
Ooh,
Like I loved being viewed as the woman who has her business and has her three children, and has her marriage, and she still bakes cookies for the PTA, and she volunteers here and she does that. And like I love that, like I was being viewed that way. And then I realized that I kept on ending up in the same scenario, which was this complete exhaustion
yes.
and just so drained. And, and then I realized, well, the same message kept on coming up for me because I just wasn't hearing the message, that
Mm.
like I had to slow down and say no and be real. And I'm like, okay,
Yes.
I get it now. It only had
Yes.
to happen like 3 or 4 or 5 times before I understood what I had to actually do, and being able to say no without feeling guilty, and setting limits and setting boundaries, without judging or criticizing yourself, because you may or may not be getting judgment or criticism from other people. But I think that goes back to trusting yourself and loving yourself and knowing what you need, even if other people misunderstand your choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And saying no, I love that. That's a hard one for me. Sometimes,
Yeah.
another one thing that I work on, but I think one of the things I said no to pretty quick was baking cookies.
Christmas cookies?
Huh?
Holiday cookies.
No,
Do
I
not bake.
just
Oh, in
I'm
general, you don't bake
in
cookies.
general, I'll do it every now and then,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, you're right. Like we try, a lot of times when I'm tired, it's because I'm doing too much. I'm stretching myself too thin. And I love that, I have to be intentional about pausing and reflecting
Ooh, intentional, yes.
and have to remind myself of that over and over again.
Mhm.
So can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. So my book, I'm Loving the Me That I'm Choosing to Be, was what's the word? Inspired, I guess, by my son. So my oldest son a couple years ago was struggling in school with anxiety, and he just seemed to already be in this place where he was like striving for perfection and being overwhelmed with emotions. And at the same time, I was struggling in my marriage, and I felt pretty helpless,
Mm.
I guess, because again, I am a helper, and to feel like I didn't have the ability to help my own family work through all of our struggles that seem to be happening simultaneously. Um, I wrote a book because I thought, well, if I can't help my own family, let me write a book and try to help someone else. I don't know. I guess that was the thought process that, you know, I just wanted to love the me that I was choosing to be, even through what felt like an endless mess.
Mm.
And so the way that my book is designed is the first 10 affirmations are for children. So these are the I am affirmations that I want my children to believe about themselves. I am loved, I am grateful. And then there's a couple passages in between that talks about the emotions that we don't often want to address, which is I'm doubting myself.
Mm.
Like, what do I do if I'm doubting myself? What do I do if I feel lonely? What if I do if I'm feeling anger? So acknowledging that, like, even if the person that you're choosing to be is someone that's positive and happy and lovable, we're also going to have those other emotions too. And you don't need to judge and criticize yourself for that, but rather learn how to manage it in a healthy way,
Yeah.
and I really pray and hope that my kids at some point acknowledge and love the fact that their mom is a therapist, because we probably talk about feelings much more in our home than other kids do. Um, and then the last part of the affirmations in the book is for the adults,
Mhm.
for us to realize that it's okay to show our children vulnerability. It's okay to admit to them that we're struggling. I try to be very open and honest with my children. They know that I have my own counselor, and they're like, "But mom, you're a counselor." And I'm like, "I am." But I
Mhm.
say, "Well, medical doctors go to medical doctors. So
Yes.
it's important that counselors have their counselors." And
Yes.
then my son goes, "And firemen go to firemen." And I said, "Well, yeah, if your house is
Oh,
on fire, a
yes,
fireman's gonna, so
absolutely.
but just, and he's 7, so for him to understand what I mean, that like it doesn't matter what role we're in, we still need each other at
Yes.
some point,
Oh, I love that. Mhm.
so it's just it's something I'm really proud of, because I just feel good about the messages I'm sharing to my kids and then I'm putting out there. And I've had the pleasure of sharing it with the Easton Area School District and the Boys and Girls Club of Easton, and also with the Easton Library. Just so many wonderful connections in the community. And they all have the same response, which is they understand that like our children need this.
Yeah.
And, you know, with seeing how much we struggle as adults, if we could just teach our children some of these lessons that we're learning, but teaching them at an earlier age so they can hopefully not struggle as much or thrive a little bit more than maybe we have, I just think that would be such a beautiful thing if we could teach them
It
that.
sounds so I'm thinking I need to get a few of them for holiday gifts.
That would
Um,
be lovely.
yeah, no, and so people can find them on Amazon, right? So
Yes,
it's on
yeah, and
Amazon.
another, it is on Amazon, or you can order directly. I keep some at home so I can ship them directly. And
Okay.
the other component of the book that I guess is important to share is that with every affirmation there is a journal entry. So my hope or my goal is that, you know, I've seen books just for kids and I've seen books just for adults, but this book is for adults and children
Mm,
to come together,
I love it.
and for a parent to be able to say to a child, or a child to be able to say to a parent, like, we're working on being positive together as
Yes.
a family,
Yes.
you know. And that's really my hope for it, is that parents and kids, or adults and children, can come, teachers and students, you know, so many dynamics can
Mhm.
just come together and just say, we can learn together. And I think that was, again, like the message, because seeing my family struggle together, I would love to see families also know how to heal together.
Oh my God.
And that's just
Mm.
what I hope my book can provide, is
Yeah.
that, you know, that parents learn how to heal with their children.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It's it's such a beautiful message. Such a beautiful message. I love it so much.
Yeah.
When you were saying, you said, well, I was struggling in my marriage and my son was struggling in school, so I wrote a book. But what you did was you used your healing process of affirmations and
Mhm.
journaling, right? So
Mhm.
writing is a healing process in itself
That's
to
true.
then deliver it to the community and
Mhm.
to all of you. So check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's just yeah, and I can see and hear the that just that love that you have for it, and so wonderful.
Thank you. As I'm deep breathing, right?
I
Going
know
back to
you're
my
breathing.
breath. Yeah, centering myself.
Do we have time to do this or that?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, so we will, I mean, obviously you're going to hear from Vicky again, and you can find Vicky. So tell us where we can find you um, on social media,
At
website.
Visionistas, you
Yeah,
can
so
find me
at
at Visionistas. Yeah.
visionistasbydesign.com, you can find
Yeah.
Vicky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So I'm primarily on Instagram,
mhm.
and LinkedIn at this point. I do still have a Facebook page, but I'm not really on Facebook as much anymore. So Instagram and LinkedIn, I would say, are the two best ways to connect with me. And then, of course, you mentioned my podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
If you want to, listen to any of those, me and my co-host Mark Kenny, we try to keep up with doing at least once a month, so all about supporting mental health, awareness. So those are probably the best ways to connect with me.
Okay, great. All right, so this or that. So each time I have a new guest on, and again, when I say you'll be hearing more from Vicky, well, obviously we're going to be back talking about the Beatles documentary.
Yes.
Her program, A New You, is going to be coming in soon. We're going to be doing, we'll check back. Make sure you're following us and following Vicky so that you don't miss any of our fun announcements. So you can subscribe for our weekly emails. If you go to the visionistasbydesign.com homepage and you go all the way to the bottom, you can just put your name and your email address, and we will get you on our list so that you don't miss a thing. But yes, stay in touch with us and keep listening so that you can hear more of the fun things that we will bring. So, because I mean, we could keep talking.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so nice. Okay, so each time I have a new guest on, we do a little fun game called This or That, where I just give you two things and you just pick one if you can, and talk it out loud of why you chose what you chose. Okay.
Try to not overanalyze it.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So the first question, first this or that is dun, 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 dance party or sing along.
I'm gonna have to go with dance party because so a fun fact, my dad, how long of an answer can I give?
You can go. You can
So,
go.
okay.
That's the part I
So,
love about this or that, because
so
it always
my dad,
some fun fact up.
he grew up in Italy and he actually won awards for dancing. And
Oh my gosh.
so my dad and I growing up, I would dance to Italian music with him. And I've just always loved dancing. And it's always been a goal of mine. I guess if we're talking about dreams come true, it's
Yeah.
always been a goal of mine to like get more into dancing. Like I've taken a bunch of dance classes, but I would love to do it like on a regular basis.
Oh
Not
my God.
necessarily like performing, but I just love everything about dance and music,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, right. Well, and so I love learning these fun facts because, at the vision board party, I
Mhm.
learned that Aaliyah plays
Mhm.
guitar
Oh,
and
that's
the
awesome.
violin. Yes. And now you're a dancer. And
Mhm.
so I'm just seeing something fun is coming in our future
Yeah.
with dancing and music.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, so okay, yay. The next one is I have a few here, so I have to like choose because
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm just really excited.
I know, okay. Swimming or hiking?
I'm gonna go with hiking. I just really love nature, and I had just gone on a hike with Shonda Morales. I don't know
Oh
if you
yes,
know
yes.
her.
I
Breathe
know of
Mama
her.
Breathe. And yep, and so she does a monthly hike where we get together and we raise money for a local organization. But I think I might be getting off topic here. But yes, hiking, just anything about nature and fresh air and moving your body. And so yes, hiking is my final
I love it. And I do
answer.
love that I probably have crossed paths with her similarly to you. And I have seen her website of the Breathe Mama Breathe. Right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Love that. Yeah. We'll talk more about that
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Um, okay. The next one, I don't know. I might have to do four because I don't want to choose between. The next one is rainbows or butterflies.
Oh gosh. Okay. So butterflies are what I defined as my symbol of transformation because I'm breaking out of my cocoon and
Oh my
becoming
goodness.
something beautiful. Um, so I'm gonna go with butterflies, and there's more I can share about that. I actually made myself a vision board of just all butterflies
Oh
and
my
quotes
gosh.
and the meaning behind butterflies,
Oh
hanging
my
in my
gosh.
office. But rainbows, during COVID, one of the things I did with my boys was we decorated our front window of our house, because no one was like allowed to like go out. So when
Mhm.
someone did pass our house, I had a big rainbow that my boys helped me color. And it's just a reminder that a rainbow, something beautiful, comes after every storm.
Mm.
So it's tough for me to choose. There's
Yes.
significance with both of those, but yes.
Wow, I love that. Oh my gosh, so touching. Both, yeah, yeah. I'm sitting here like so thankful that you're in my life.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm
Ugh,
thankful
I'm
as
just gonna
well.
ask this last one because it's kind of fun.
Yes, yes.
Peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Oh boy. See, I was wondering if there was going to be a question about food. I was like, there has to be at least one question about
Because
food.
you know I love eating.
Oh, so I would like to add a third option to
Okay,
that,
okay.
which is peanut butter and Nutella. Nutella,
Oh.
chocolate, because then it's like you're
Mm.
eating a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh my
But
gosh.
if I
Yeah.
had to choose between peanut butter and jelly and grilled cheese, I think I would go with the grilled cheese. And now I'm also hungry because I didn't eat lunch. So I'll have to make grilled cheese when I get home.
I
Yeah.
love that you made a third option. That's my favorite. Yeah, that is so fun. Yeah, I'm a huge peanut butter fan and chocolate. So one of the
Yeah.
things, like this is kind of right along the lines, one of the snacks we do in our house, which I can't believe I'm sharing it out loud, We will put a spoon in peanut butter and put chocolate chips on top of it. And then
Oh, I love that.
no, they're like little bites of heaven. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm gonna try that also. After I make my grilled cheese, I'm gonna take a scoop of peanut butter
and then have some water. Just have some water to wash it all down.
Yes, right.
Oh my goodness. This was so, so amazing. Thank you so much for joining me, Vicky. Of course, we'll be doing this again. This was so much fun. And I hope that you all enjoyed meeting Vicky as much as I enjoyed chatting with her and learning new things. That's the fun thing when you sit down, even with someone that you know that you're in relationship with, spend the time to just sit down and chat. And look at the things we've learned about each other here today. I love it, love it, love it.
Honestly, my cheeks hurt from smiling so much, which is like that awareness of my body, right? Like this is I just always feel good, like being around you and the Visionistas team. And just, like there's no doubt in my mind that this is where I'm supposed to be.
I love it. Lovely. I love it. Yeah. And it just made me think of that one memory of, it was just one of your very first days. Again, we were here and everybody was here and you shouted out. I was in my office, you were in mine, and like there was something going on in the hallway of like, oh, I love your outfit between somebody and you just shouted out, I just love working here.
Yeah. Because it really, I mean, and I know after the event, I had shared with you that one of my friends had come to the Small Business Saturday. And when I spoke to her afterwards, she was like, is that where you really work? Like you work there? And I was like, I know, it's great, isn't it? Because you feel happy just walking into that building and just the positive energy. How can you not feel good? I don't know.
I love it. Yeah. And it's all of us, right? Like we all have the energy that is real, right? Because we like we said, we'll go right full circle of we cry here, we laugh here, we get frustrated here, and we're real and we're ourselves and we lift each other up, which is lovely. So beautiful. Yes. Okay. Well, that is it. We're gonna just wrap this up, and thank you all for listening. We hope that you will tune in again to hear more fun things. And yeah, if you loved this episode, if you loved any of the things that you heard today, any little golden nugget that you think that someone else might also benefit from, share it, right? Share the episode, send it to someone that you love, and brighten their day. Let their face get sore from smiling, laughing like ours. All right. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for connecting on this episode of the podcast, Empowered by Design. For further connection, subscribe to my email list at drliz.com to be sure that you are in the loop for exciting news, events, and resources. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and send this episode to one of your people in order to share the love, spread the power. This podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you to pursue your dreams with intentional vision. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for psychological treatment or a working relationship with a licensed mental health professional. For more information on connecting with mental health resources in your area, visit drliz.com and click on resources. Thank you again for connecting, and remember, trust the heart, work your vision, dream, design, deliver.